Welcome back to the deep dive. You really piled it on for us this time. Reddit, Discord, AI-generated summaries. It's AI analyzing AI.
Yeah, like the AI world is suddenly having this big conversation with itself. And
And out of all that, you want us to find the projects that aren't just cool tech, but are actually, making a difference.
the ones with real social impact, yeah. It's a good challenge, though.
It is. Okay, before we dive into the matrix here, what were some of the big themes you saw coming up over and over?
Definitely a huge push for open source and this real focus on making AI accessible.
Kind of like the early internet days, everyone excited about sharing?
Exactly. And with that, some projects that are using AI to solve real social problems in totally new ways.
Okay, you've got my attention. What's the first one that stood out?
One that caught my eye is LLM Selector. It's a tool to help people navigate all these open source AI models that are out there.
I saw some buzz about that on Reddit. It's like a matchmaking service for AI, right?
Yeah, precisely. Instead of just picking the biggest model out there and hoping for the best, LLM Selector actually looks at how each model performs on different tasks, helps you find the one that fits what you're trying to do.
So not just finding something that works, but finding the right tool for the job.
Right. Think of a researcher, maybe in a country without a lot of resources. They need a good language model for their work, but can't afford huge computing power. LLM Selector could help them find something that's powerful enough without needing a supercomputer.
That's a great example, leveling the playing field a bit.
And it keeps getting better, too, because it's open source, the whole community adds to it, more models, more tests.
That open source idea seems to be behind a lot of these really impactful projects. What else is on the list?
Another one that's getting a lot of attention is Project Popcorn. This one's using AI to, well, write better AI.
Hold on, AI building itself? That sounds straight out of science fiction.
It does, doesn't it? But what Project Popcorn actually does is use these large language models to create really efficient code for how AI runs on hardware. Specifically, these things called kernels, which are kind of like the heart of the processing.
So it's like AI building its own supercharged engine?
Perfect analogy. And the cool part is it's all out in the open. The code's on GitHub. Anyone can see it, work on it, benefit from it.
That's amazing. Talk about transparency.
Yeah, it really shows how powerful open source can be. And the potential impact is huge more efficient. AI means it can be used for way more things.
Makes you wonder what AI will be able to do once it keeps optimizing itself like that.
It really does. Okay, ready for a total change of pace?
Always.
This next one's about accessibility. It's called Ferret-UI, and it's an AI that's designed to really understand how mobile phone interfaces work.
Now, why is understanding interfaces so important for social impact?
Think about how much we use our phones for nowadays. For a lot of people, it's their connection to everything, information, banking, even just navigating around. But if you have trouble seeing or can't use complex menus easily, that whole world is closed off.
So Ferret-UI is like an AI assistant helping people use their phones.
Exactly. It can recognize icons, the text on the screen, follow voice commands, like having someone guide you through your phone, making it usable for way more people.
Can you give an example of how that would actually work?
Sure, imagine someone who's visually impaired trying to use their banking app. Ferret-UI could read out the account balance, tell them what buttons are there, even confirm a transaction, all with voice.
That's really powerful stuff, taking down those barriers, letting everyone participate.
Right. And get this, Ferret-UI is actually already better than some of those big general AI models when it comes to these specific phone tasks. Shows how powerful specialized AI can be.
It's amazing how AI can be so tailored to a need like that. Okay, what's next on the list?
This one dives into the world of hiring, tackles something most people dread, reviewing resumes.
Tell me about it. What's this one called?
The Automated Resume Insights Agent. Think about how much time recruiters spend just going through piles of resumes trying to figure out who's got what skills.
Way too much, that's for sure. So this AI does that for them.
Pretty much. It picks out the key skills, the experience, even things that might not be obvious just from reading the resume, like how it's structured.
So no more keyword stuffing to get past the bots, hopefully.
Potentially, yeah. This could lead to hiring being about actual qualifications, making it fairer and more efficient.
That's a big deal, using AI to make the system work better for everyone.
Exactly. Okay, ready for the last one. This one's about giving you more control.
Bring it on.
It's an open source toolkit from a company called Cohere, specifically for fine-tuning their language models.
Open source fine-tuning. Now that sounds a bit techy. Break it down for us.
Sure. Basically, they've made it so anyone, even if you're not a coding whiz, can take their pre-trained models and tweak them to do exactly what you need.
So instead of starting from scratch, you take something really powerful and just adjust it a bit.
Exactly. Like taking a multi-tool and sharpening one of the blades for a specific job, it gives users so much flexibility.
And because it's open source, I bet people are sharing their tweaks, making it even more useful.
Absolutely. It's a community effort, and that's what makes it so powerful, democratizing AI, putting the control in the hands of the users.
This is amazing. We've gone from AI helping us find the right AI, to writing its own code, to making technology accessible, to revolutionizing hiring, and now letting us customize it all.
It really shows the range of what's happening out there. AI isn't just a futuristic idea anymore. It's being used to solve real problems and make things better.
And it's all moving so fast. Okay, we've covered 5 really cool projects here, but there's so much more to unpack. What does all this mean for the people listening, for their jobs, their lives? We'll be right back to get into that.
It really is amazing to see the creativity and the dedication behind all these projects.
Yeah, and what gets me is there's this feeling of optimism around them. Like people are genuinely excited about AI doing good in the world.
Definitely a shift happening. It's not just the tech anymore, it's the human side, what it all means for us.
Like we're moving past the what can AI do and into the why are we doing it and how can we make it better?
Exactly. And that shows in all the open source work. It's about everyone working together, sharing what they learn.
Speaking of open source, digging into all this stuff brought up some interesting questions about like the technical choices people are making in AI.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk about model size, how to balance power and accessibility.
Oh, yeah, that's a big debate right now. For a long time, the idea was the bigger the AI model, the better. But we're starting to see some pushback on that.
Yeah, it seems kind of counterintuitive, but I'm hearing more and more about smaller, more focused models being really effective.
It's all about using the right tool for the job. Sometimes a smaller, faster model can outperform a huge, resource-hungry one, especially for specific tasks.
And those smaller models are easier for people to use if they don't have a ton of computing power.
Right, exactly. They can run on regular computers, which opens up AI to researchers, developers, hobbyists, anyone who can't afford a supercomputer.
So it's not just about building the biggest, most complex AI. It's about building the AI that fits the need, that more people can actually use.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's
Right.
about making sure everyone benefits from AI, not just a few. Oh, and another technical thing that caught my eye is this idea of quantization.
Quantization, huh? That sounds complicated.
It is, but it's really cool. It's basically a way to make AI models smaller without losing much performance.
Kind of like compressing a file so it takes up less space.
Perfect analogy. Instead of storing all the data in full detail, it uses some clever math to represent it more efficiently.
And that helps with accessibility too, right?
You got it. Smaller models need less memory, less processing power, so they can run on things like phones, even those tiny computers embedded in other devices.
So it's about making AI more portable, getting it out there in the real world where it can be used directly by people.
Exactly, making it work for everyone, everywhere. But it's not just about the tech itself, right?
No, definitely not. All these projects, they're really about how AI affects people, how it changes society.
And that brings us to the big question. AI and the future of work. It's something everyone's talking about, but with a mix of excitement and worry.
Yeah, on one hand, AI can automate tasks, make things more efficient, but then there's the fear of jobs being lost.
It's important to be realistic. AI is a tool. Like any tool, it can be used in good ways or bad.
The key is using it responsibly and being prepared for how it's going to change things, how we work.
Totally agree. We should be focusing on the opportunities AI creates, the new jobs, the whole new industries that could pop up, and the ways we'll have to adapt how we work.
It's about learning new skills, figuring out how to work alongside AI, using it to our advantage.
And always being willing to learn new things because things are going to keep changing fast.
Absolutely. As we navigate this, it's important to remember that we're not just along for the ride with AI. We can shape how it develops.
We're not passive. We have a voice, a responsibility to make sure AI is used to benefit everyone.
So as you're reading about all these cool AI projects, don't just be impressed by the tech. Think about what it means for the world, for yourself.
Ask questions, talk about it with people, be a part of making AI's future something we can all be proud of. It's a future we build together, right?
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, we've gone pretty deep on these big picture ideas, but let's bring it back down to the individual level. What does this mean for you, the listener? How could you get involved in this amazing, ever-changing field? We'll dig into that after a quick break. Welcome back to the deep dive. Feels like we've only just dipped our toes into this whole world of AI for social good.
It really is. It changes so fast, it's hard to keep up, let alone sum it all up.
Yeah, like trying to, I don't know, describe a river while you're standing in the middle of it. The current's always pulling you along.
That's a good way to put it. But even though we can't cover everything, I think we've seen some really amazing stuff, some trends that are worth paying attention to.
Absolutely. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave everyone listening with a few key takeaways.
Sounds good to me.
First one, and this is important, don't let AI intimidate you.
Yeah, it's easy to get lost in all the jargon, the technical stuff, but remember, at its heart, it's about solving problems, making life better for people.
And you don't need a PhD to understand the impact it's having or to learn more about it.
There are so many resources out there now, courses, podcasts, even books that explain it in plain English.
So be curious, dig in, ask questions if you've got them. Okay, takeaway number 2. AI is a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or bad.
Couldn't agree more. It's up to all of us, individuals, society as a whole, to make sure AI is developed and used responsibly.
We got to be aware of the risks, sure, but also be ready to embrace the amazing potential it has.
Finding that balance is key, where AI helps us, connects us, builds a better future, not the other way around.
Well said. And finally, this might be the most important takeaway of all. You have a part to play in all of this.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just up to the big tech companies or the scientists. This is a collective effort.
Even small things can make a difference. Supporting groups that are using AI for good, speaking up about ethical development, even just talking to people about it, spreading the knowledge.
Every voice counts. It's about making sure AI benefits everyone, not just a select few. That's the future we should be aiming for.
And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up our deep dive into the world of socially impactful AI.
It's been quite a journey, seeing how people are using this technology to push the boundaries, make a real difference.
I hope everyone listening is walking away feeling informed, engaged, and ready to be part of this AI revolution.
Because remember, the future of AI isn't set in stone, it's being created right now. And we all have a hand in shaping it.
So keep exploring, keep learning, keep asking the big questions. Until next time, stay curious, and thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.